Hello, and welcome to another episode of my 30 plus decks. Don't know if that name will always be that, but who knows. Today I'm going to be testing out Zimone and Dina. This one, kind of an interesting card as it is. Let's see. There we go. Whenever I draw my second card each turn, target player loses 2 life, and I gain 2 life. I can tap to sacrifice another target creature, draw a card, and put a land from my hand onto the battlefield tapped. If I control 8 or more lands, I repeat the process once. All in all, it's a 3/4 Sultai mana cost. So 1 blue, 1 black, 1 green. Human Dryad. Now, I have seen some decks for Squirrels, but this is my deck for Squirrels. Typically, I see Squirrels run green-black. Mine has blue because mine has the potential for flying squirrels. I also have a combo in this deck that if I'm not done goldfishing, or by the time I'm done goldfishing, if that combo has not come around, I'll just kind of showcase it at the end. There we go. Here we go. I have already shuffled up. I have drawn my first hand, and so we're going to get right into this. Turn 1. I'm going to do draw. That's a pretty one. Gonna go tapped Tangle Pool Bridge. It's an artifact land and indestructible. Taps for a blue or a green. I will go to my second turn. Untap. Upkeep draw. Here we go. That's actually kind of shaping up. I will go with a swamp. Now I've got all of my colors. Just not all of them at the same time. Let me go ahead and, silly enough, it might be taking a little bit, but I'm going to pass my turn. So, before it comes back to me officially, I'm going to tap a green and 1. Verdant Command. I think that I'm going to be making 2 tapped squirrels. And probably gaining 3 life. And this will be upside down right here. Actually, I might fill up my space, so I'll just show it a little bit off to the side over there. And I have 2 squirrels. And that was not on my turn, because that was at instant speed. So now it will be my turn. I will untap, including my squirrels. I will draw. And I will play a land for turn. Now for right now, these squirrels are going to be sacrificed to Zimone and Dina eventually. Don't be too worried about that. I know I said that pretty quick. Let me think. The other thing about Zimone and Dina is I want to have a number of lands. So, do I want to do lands first? I think that I'd actually rather get Zimone and Dina out. Green, black, blue. 3/4 commander. And I think I'm going to pass turn. Turn 4. That's going to be untap. Upkeep and draw. I think that I will go with this very pretty island. Very pretty island. Oh yeah. Infinity lands are just so cool. I'm going to do something along the lines of green and 2 for cultivate. I will be searching for, I know that I need forests a lot, so let me get a forest, and here's an island right quick. So that's going to be forest to the battlefield tapped, and this island to my hand. We'll shuffle. I can also, once I'm done shuffling, I can tap the Zimone and Dina. I can even just stop talking and I'll take my turn in just a second. Okay, shuffled up enough. This will go to my hand, and I think that I will go 1 blue. Hard evidence. I create a 0/3 blue crab creature token, and I investigate. 0/3 blue crab. And this deck has so many tokens and it needs, it uses almost all of them. There we go. And my clue for investigating. Then I will pass my turn. And before it actually officially comes back to me, I will tap Zimone and Dina, and I will sacrifice a crab, and I will draw a card. And then I will put this island onto the battlefield tapped. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I do not have 8 lands, so that does not trigger. And then it would be my turn. I untap. I upkeep, which is nothing. I draw. That works. Land for turn. Currently have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lands by turn 5. And that is because the extra one from Zimone and the extra one from Cultivate. Trying to get up to 8. Just need that one more. But for now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana to work with is pretty good. Considering I can do a couple things. Actually is kind of an interesting choice. That's gonna be what I do. Green, green, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Serac and Goreclaw. 6/5 trample. Other creatures I control have trample. And whenever another non-token creature enters the battlefield under my control, not only do I put a 1 counter on it, it gains haste until the end of turn. Then I will pass my turn. And that same thing of I will go through the rotation, or with this rotation, it could even be something like someone attacks me with a 3/3. I declare block with Zimone and Dina, and then before damage is dealt, I will tap and sacrifice a squirrel to draw a card. Hey, that's a land, so I put that on the battlefield tapped. When it enters the battlefield, it chooses something other than blue. Right now I've got plenty of green, I got plenty of blue. Let's choose black. So this can tap for blue or black. And then that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lands. So I draw one more card, and I can put this land from my hand onto the battlefield tapped. Beautiful. Anyways, in that scenario, Zimone wouldn't die, but whatever. That's just kind of what I mean by, you know, I'll make smart blocks, or I'll tap her right at my, right at the end step, right before my turn. And those are just smart choices to make in general. So that it's going to be turn 6. I untap. Nothing on upkeep, so then I will draw. Very cool. Oh my goodness. We're going to do something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes. Old Gnawbone. Now, Old Gnawbone is a 7-cost, 7/7 flying. Whenever a creature I control deals combat damage to a player, I create that many treasure tokens. When he enters, because of Serac and Goreclaw, he gets a 1/1 counter, making him an 8/8 flying haste trample. And excuse me, I will be swinging with that 8/8 flying trample haste. Hopefully towards someone who does not have any flying, which by turn 6 it can still happen. I've got 4 opponents, and with that I'm just going to say that I did, and that will be 8 treasures, which I have shiny cool treasure from Infinity. Oh, I love their tokens, I love their lands, all of it. Is that even, ooh, hope it's not too blurry. Either way, I have 8. And then in my second main phase, I'm going to use them. So that's 1, 2, plus 8, that's 10. Do I want to use all of it? I couldn't even if I wanted to, could I? Well, then, let's do the next thing. 1, 2, 3. That's going to be green, green, green for Fey Offering. And Fey Offering is an enchantment at the beginning of each end step. If I've both cast a creature spell and a non-creature spell this turn, I create a clue, a food, and a treasure. I will then go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And all of that is green. It'll be for Gruff Triplets. Now, Gruff Triplets is a very good card when it enters the battlefield. If it is not a creature token, let me specify. If it is not a creature token, create 2 tokens that are copies of it. Man, this is just bad. Let's go like that. There we go. When Gruff Triplets dies, put a number of 1/1 counters on it equal to its power on each creature you control named Gruff Triplets. Now, that is out. And I have a couple of these blank proxies just as tokens, specifically for him or things like him. So now I technically have 3 Gruff Triplets, all 3 3s. Then I will tap Zimone and Dina. And actually, I think that I used all of my treasures, so that is that. Tap Zimone and Dina, and I will sacrifice the original Gruff Triplets so that each of the tokens are getting 3 1/1 counters, because actually, Gruff Triplets non-token entered with a 1/1 counter. So when I sacrifice him, he is actually giving 4 1/1 counters to each of my non-token, or to each of my token Guffs. Gruffs, oh my gosh, Guff is a whole different card. So now each of my tokens are 7/7 tramples. Zimone trigger. I draw a card, and I don't have any land. I draw a card. Zagoth Triumph to my battlefield, tapped. Looking for any more triggers. I've already attacked. I've already tapped my thing. That would be moving to my end step. I make a treasure. I make my second clue. I make a food. Which, if any food makes me hungry, oh my goodness. Look at that burger. Oh man. Delicious. Ooh. Anyways, cardboard. Food. And don't forget, easier to. There we go. I know, such a small board for 6-7 turns. This is still turn 6, so let's. That was my end step. Final turn. That will be untap, including old Nabo. Man, untap, 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 untap. Upkeep. Nothing. Draw. Land for turn. It's a swamp. Let's go green and 2. Chatterfang. Squirrel General. Now, Chatterfang is the commander, but he is definitely more like a backup commander. So I will have, oh, my bad, a 3/3 Forest Walk. So if my opponents have a forest, he can just attack them unblocked. If one or more tokens would be created under my control, those tokens plus that many 1/1 green squirrel creature tokens are created instead. And this is definitely a sacrifice deck, which is kind of why I have it in here. And lastly, I can tap a black, sacrifice X squirrels. Target creature gets plus X minus X until the end of turn. So it can be used to buff my guys, or it can be used to kill your guys. Cool. So here's a squirrel token, just the one. It's a little bit of a mess on organization, but that's fine. I know what they all do and I'm keeping track. Next, black and 2. Mindless conscription. When it enters a battlefield, and whenever I draw my 3rd card each turn, I amass zombies 3. So this is one of the cards that I have in my deck because it's very, very nice. Zombie Army. Which also makes me a squirrel, because that's a token. And now, I can... Oh, let's see. It is amass army 3. Let me just show it off. I can tap Zimone and Dina to sacrifice the zombie army to draw a card. That is my 2nd card I draw this turn. I have 8 or more lands, so I draw my 3rd card this turn, making me a zombie army, amassing 3, which also makes me a squirrel. The other thing that I did just remember is Chatterfang enters with his one cannon, of course. And he does have haste. The other trigger that and that was just me catching up with draw triggers. I do have the Zimone and Dina trigger, which is putting a land from my hand on the battlefield. And technically that would be happening before the amass because of just, I can't split this in half. Continuing, because I think I'm almost done. That has been a creature that I've cast this turn, and a non-creature, so I can also get my treasure, food, and clue at the end step. I think that I will just tap 1 and get Candy Trail. When it enters, I scry 2. I can tap 2 and it to sacrifice it, gain 3 life, and draw a card. Very neat thing. It's a food and a clue. I know this is always so blurry, and I just want to show off my card. Bam. Beautiful. Let me just go right up here somewhere. It's a food and a clue. It'll go in between my food and my non-joke. I think that's pretty dang close. I would definitely still swing. Don't exactly know how, but I would. I would be moving to my end step, making a 3rd clue, a 2nd food, a 2nd treasure. Didn't think I'd need this many dice. 2nd treasure, and that also makes me 3 more squirrels. Perfect. Now, the other thing, just in general, I was holding in my hand an Assassin's Trophy, and that's just removal. I did have enough for it this turn. I had enough for it last turn, including the treasure. Just something that I was holding up. That is game 1. There we go. This deck has a lot of token potential, and maybe that's kind of a theme of my deck. I love making tokens and just having a big board. But then there's, implications. It's like, okay, so you like to go wide. Well, yes, but then Kadira also has the potential to go tall. So it's very much just changing it up no matter how I can, if I can see a way to do it. Zimone and Dina really does just kind of pull this deck together. Has extra card draw, which really helps with squirrels. The blue really doesn't affect much with counter spells or control in much of that sense. Not to say that there aren't any, because that very first spell that I cast had it was a modal spell that could counter a planeswalker ability or something like that. It was kind of narrow. Let's see, counter target loyalty ability of a planeswalker. Yeah, I typically don't do that. I would typically just rather get squirrels. Now, sure, in the moment, I could, knowing that I have friends that have like bolus commanders, I could absolutely just keep that in my hand for not only making squirrels but also countering. But for the most part, I just make squirrels. Maybe exile the graveyard every once in a while. Keep them on their toes, but making squirrels and gain 3 life is pretty solid. A number of these cards, you may have noticed, are from Modern Horizons 2. I did buy a lot of those cards. I ended up pulling a couple Chatterfangs, not the art that I wanted, but that's fine, and made a decent enough squirrel deck. When I went to make it a commander, before it was a commander, it was every color but red, and really didn't need much white, but it still used it. Mostly it's just token creation, but there we go. Anyways, it's pretty much showing off what I wanted to do, so let's go for round 2. See if this is a decent hand. 3, 6, 7. Okay. 2 lands, both of them forests. Some of these cards need black. That is not a bad start, but is it? I don't think so. I think I'm just going to mulligan. Nothing wrong with that. In a way, it's part of it. That's part of the goldfish. Now, does that count as a gold? I don't think it should. I don't think I should. In a way, it does, but I don't think it will. Just a little bit of a shuffle and a cut, and let's draw. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's check it. Actually, not bad at all. Let's go with that one first. Catacomb, that's actually not bad at all. If I can... I could turn 1 to Arbor Elf, and then turn 2 Verdant Catacombs into... Zagoth Trial. Turn 1. Draw. Oh, neat. Let's go Forest, tap, Arbor Elf. Pass. Untap, upkeep, draw. Another Forest, that's perfect. Let's go Verdant Catacombs, and then I will crack it, which is going to be upside down for done. And let's hope this half of my deck has a Zagoth Triome. There we go. Do not have many Triomes, and I definitely don't have one in every deck that would need one. But this one I've had for a while, and specifically had with this deck for a while. Kind of shows where I imagine these squirrels living, all the way up to the sleeves these cards are using. This is Squirrel Island. Let's see. Technically I can tap to untap this forest and then go green and 1 for a Fauna Shaman. Turn 3. Untapping and upkeeping and drawing. Let's see. Let's go. That's not a bad idea. Oh, of course. Thriving Isle. Interest tapped. I'll choose black. Blue or black. Yeah. And then I'll tap this for blue. Tap to untap this forest. Tap this for black. Tap this for green. Blue, black, green for Zimone Dina. Turn 4. Untap. Upkeep. Nothing. Draw. Alright. Very not bad. Very, very good. Cool even. Let's start with that one. Absolutely. Let's go Misty Rainforest. I'll tap this for black, tap this for black, tap this for 1. Pest summoning. And I will make 2 pests. When pests die, I gain a life. So, bam, it is 2 pests. Then I'll keep with what I was doing there. I will crack my Misty Rainforest, and then I don't know that I really have any other lands that are dual lands, because I think that that's the only tri-land I have. Maybe I should just search for a forest. Let me actually, before I commit to that, check this out. And this is why we goldfish. There we go. Forest. And a quick little shuffle here. And a little bit of a cut. And we're good. That goes there untapped. I will pass the turn. So it is my 5th turn, going into my 5th turn. Before it officially happens, I will tap, sacrifice, gain a life, draw a card, and put this forest from my hand on the battlefield tapped. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 total. Sweet. I think that is all. I will untap, upkeep, nothing, draw. Land for turn 4, 5, 6, which is neat. Very neat. Now, if I wanted to do things or stuff, I'd have to do that and that. So let's just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and play Garruk Cursed Huntsman. Zoom. Starts at 5, and for 0, I make 2 2/2 black and green wolves with, when this creature dies, put a loyalty counter on each Garruk you control. This is the main one that this deck has. I don't know if there are any others in there, but definitely something that I keep in mind. It's a -3 to destroy target creature and draw a card, or a -6. I get an emblem with creatures I control, get +3/+3, and have trample. So I'm going to 0, so he stays at 5, and let's go. And I make 2 2/2 wolves. Get out of here, both of you guys. Neat. There we go. Here are my wolves. There we go. 2/2 wolves. And that will be all. I will pass. Start down here now. Yeah, that looks fine. And then before it gets to me, I will tap. I will sacrifice this wolf. Garruk goes up to 6. I draw a card. And no lands to put down. I will untap. I will not on upkeep, so I draw. Land for turn, putting me at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then let's see. Let's make the most of it. Blue and 1. Emrakul's Messenger. I sprinkled a bunch of these in this deck because they work really well with Zimone and Dina. 2 and 1, devoid flying. Whenever I draw my second card each turn, create a 0/1 colorless Eldrazi spawn with sack this and make a colorless. So pretty much I can either on my turn or eventually when I have enough land, I can just start sacrificing things to Zimone and Dina and getting Eldrazi, or I can start sacrificing the Eldrazi and then making the Eldrazi right back. It's very nice. I will do something like tap up this for a black and then 2 of my forests for an Ophiomancer. Another great thing with Zimone and Dina. At the beginning of each upkeep, if I control no snakes, create a 1/1 black snake creature token with Death Touch. Very good protection, but also just in general, great that I can sacrifice with Zimone and Dina, and if I have ways to untap, which there are in the deck, they just haven't quite shown up, I can use that multiple times on other people's turns. And that is pretty much all that I can do from there. Let me tap Zimone and Dina, sacrifice this wolf, put another loyalty counter on Garruk, Cursed Huntsman, draw a card. That is not a land, so I don't have any lands in my hand. I will -6 for Garruk, and I will get that emblem. Now creatures I control get +3/+3 and have trample. So those snakes that I'm going to be making will be 4/4 trample Death Touch snakes, which is cool. That is me drawing my second card this turn, which is very cool. That gets me a Eldrazi spawn, which is now a 3/4 Eldrazi spawn. And I just kind of want to play everything in my hand. So let's tap Arbor Elf. Actually, hold on just a second. Let me read this card first, because this one's a little bit new. Let's actually do this. Let's tap a green and tap Fauna Shaman. And discard Valley Rot Collar, which I was just reading. Whenever he attacks, each opponent loses X life, and I gain X life, where X is the number of other squirrels, bats, lizards, and rats I control, which is currently 0. So I can go without him for now, and I will search for a creature card. And do I have one in mind? Well, a part of me wants a couple of things, but no, I really don't have anything specific in mind. A part of me wants to not spoil it, or try and get it next game, you know. Interesting. More drawing cards and getting creatures. Academy Manufacturer's a cool one. Oh, man. I technically could do a couple of things, you guys. That's not a bad choice. Let's just go with Wonder. Now, Wonder is one of the many reasons that I have my squirrels, which, that's what I was saying. There's not many squirrels right now. This is my squirrel deck, and this is one of my ways to make flying squirrels. So, Wonder goes to my hand. I think that's pretty much all. So I will pass my turn, and then on the next person's upkeep, I make a snake. Now, truth be told, I don't know if I actually have a snake token, so I probably have something in here as a substitute snake token. Maybe not. Of course. That's okay. I will make a snake with an infinite token. And got those. They're so cool. get a clean one. Well, that's all right. I can work with that. Let's go. A snake, and then it's going to be like a cobra, which has its little fork and the eyes or whatever. I don't know. It's a snake, and it has that touch. All right. I want one snake with death. No, those are not boobs. Those are the things. I didn't say that. Anyways, let us continue with that. So this is actually final turn, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Because of only like the one extra that I've done. Yeah. So let's go to final turn. I'm gonna tap up, keep draw. Neat. I can't do that. But I could do that. Let's go 1 green to tap and discard Wonder. Now, Wonder is in my graveyard, and I control an island. So creatures I control have flying. And then I will search for that one's not bad. That one's not bad. Let's go for that. Thorn Vault Forager. It's a 2/2. I can tap for a green. I can tap and forage, so sacrifice a food or exile 3 cards from my graveyard to add 2 mana of any combination of colors. Or I can tap 3 and a green and him to search my library for a squirrel card, reveal it, and put it in my hand, and shuffle. I know, a fair bit of tutors. Let's go green and 1 for that Thorn Vault Forager. He is out. And then let's go 1, 2, 3, 4 for Tusky, Bearer of Secrets. 1/1 indestructible, can't be countered, attacks each combat if able, and whenever a creature I control deals combat damage to a player, I draw a card. I will then go 0 on Garruk, make 2 more wolves. Guess I could do a number of things. But I think I'd rather draw. So let's tap Zimone and Dina. Sacrifice one of those squirrels to put a loyalty counter on you. Draw a card. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I do not draw the second card, but I do get the second spawn. Neat. I don't really think there's much else that I can do besides swing, and I don't know how much I'd be drawing, but that's just kind of the thing. Sweet. Oh, I like my little snake with death. Let's put him back up there. And let's go for our last game. Man, these last couple of videos were ending right about now. So I'll try and make this last one quick. How about the squirrels can just make so many tokens, or non-squirrels. Alright, let's get back in this one more time. One, two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 4, 5, 6, 7. Almost all of this is lands. Should I even bother? That's draw 4. Let's just see where it goes. I think let's not waste any more time. Let's go with this. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We'll be fine. All right. Draw. Let's go Verdant Catacombs and I will crack it. And I will get that Zagoth Triome. Hopefully it's in this half of the deck. Yeah, I'm trying to do this quick. Especially since I'm still trying to show off the combo at the end, because it's maybe not the most, convoluted combo ever, but definitely a little bit convoluted. And man, it's beautiful. Gotten it to work a good handful of times, and I'm proud of it every single time that it works. And I discovered it before I started even watching videos on Magic stuff, so I was very proud of finding this combo. I got Triumph to the battlefield tapped. On turn 2, untap, upkeep, draw. There we go. That is going to be an island. I will tap the Zagoth Triumph for an Arbor Elf. Pass. Untap, upkeep, draw. That will be for a swamp. Green, blue, black for Zimone and Dina. And I will pass turn. Untap, upkeep, draw. That's going to be a forest. I think I'm doing great with land. Of course I am. Let's do something like green and 2 for Kodama's Reach. And I will search for at least a forest to go tapped. And let's go. Oh, let's see. I don't actually know if I need much else. Oh, of course. Let's go an island because my hand was full of swamps. There's that island to my hand, actually. There we go. Next, I will tap this Zagoth Triumph for a green and go with Glimmer Baron. He's just the cutest little guy. Let's see if I can. Here we go. 1 cost, 1, 2. Sacrifice a token. He gets +2/+2 until the end of turn. He's an oof. He's so cute. I also got Glider Baron. Not in the deck. It's actually not because it got bent to me in the mail, but I still have it. It hurts my soul thinking about it. Really? No. No, I'm joking. Let's go to turn 5. Untapping. Upkeeping. Drawing. Let's see. Let's go something like Island. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's go black and 2 for Nadir's Nightblade. Whenever a token I control leaves the battlefield, each opponent loses 1 and I gain 1. Let's go blue and 2 for that Brain Surge. I will draw 4 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then put 2 cards from my hand back on top. Let's go with these 2. Very cool. Very cool. Now, let's... Yeah. Pass the turn. Untap. Upkeep, draw. Who would have guessed? And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's go 2, 3. Invasion of Zendikar on someone. It's going to be this land to the battlefield tapped and this land to the battlefield tapped. Then I'll shuffle. Its siege starts at 3 or has 3 life, or however the siege battle points work. Oh. But I know that the other side is a creature that, as long as it's on the battlefield, it's a land, and that helps with the Zimone and Dina count, which, also helps with that Zimone and Dina count. The fact that it just gave me 2 more lands, so I think that I'm at 9. So, I just need a creature to sacrifice, right? 1, 2, 3. Darn shame. That's okay. I don't need it. I don't need it. I definitely don't need it. Okay. Let's just pass. Final turn. Untapping, upkeeping, and drawing. Land. And man, I really am just super close to getting that all to pop off, but that is not the worst thing in the world. Blue, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Specimen Collector. It's a 5 cost. Vidalcan Wizard, 2/1. When it enters the battlefield, I create a 1/1 green squirrel creature token and a 0/3 blue crab creature token. When it dies, I create a token that's a copy of target token I control. Yeah, it's a good one. Let's go back to that. Enters and makes me a crab and a squirrel. Now I have fodder to sacrifice with Zimone. Then let's see. That's actually not a bad idea. Let's tap and I'll sacrifice the crab to draw a card. No land, but I do have enough land to draw a second card. And at the same time, that is a token leaving, so each opponent loses 1 and I gain 1. I will tap this for a green. Gift of the Viper. So I will put a 1 counter, a Death Touch counter, and a Reach counter, all on Zimone and Dina. And this is the other counter. And then I will tap her again, because it's untapped. I will sacrifice the squirrel this time. And that will be another trigger from Nadier's Nightblade. But all in all, I'll be drawing a card. No trigger. Drawing a card. Land. With this being the case, let's go green and 2 for Fey Offering, and then 1 blue for Tamio Inquisitive Student. For the most part, I think that's going to be it. That was a whole lot of setup and not a whole lot of doing anything in that last game, but that's not bad. As far as what I was setting up to, I was pretty close. Here's what it is. Because I'll just go and show you this combo. I almost had it out. Let's see if I have, let's say, here's one, Mystic Reflection. Let's say I have a Mystic Reflection, and this is choose target non-legendary creature. The next time 1 or more creatures or planeswalkers enter the battlefield this turn, they enter as copies of the chosen creature. Foretell for a blue. If I had that, or just one of my, small handful of ways to make a token copy of Specimen Collector, now I have this specimen collector and the token of specimen collector. Let me just grab some tokens. So now I would have specimen collector and a copy of specimen collector. And I also have my oof. Then, with someone like my commander, I can tap, sacrifice the original, and when it dies, I make a token that is a copy of target token I control, which is itself. Now, something else to note. When this token enters, I make a squirrel and a crab. When this token enters, I make a squirrel. It's on 2. Second squirrel. Second crab. And then I can use Glimmer Baron to sacrifice one of these tokens of Specimen Collector. And when it dies, I make it a token of Specimen Collector, which makes me another crab and another squirrel. And that Glimmer Baron is +2/+2 until the end of turn. And I can do that as many times as I want, making as many crabs and as many squirrels as I want. And then something else that I've gotten in that mix is my little friend Ravenous Squirrel. And let's find him. Let's see, just as I'm thumbing through, Bramble Sovereign is one that I typically go for, so that when I cast Specimen Collector, yes, it costs an extra 2, but I get a copy of it right away. Did I really thumb over it? Man. Ravenous Squirrel, all in all, is whenever I sacrifice a creature or an artifact, I put a 1/1 counter on him. And so during this combo, Glimmer Baron is getting a huge temporary buff. And this Ravenous Squirrel is getting that big of a buff minus counters. Man, where did he go? Was it in my hand? Maybe I took him out. Either way, here's the other one that I was looking for. Junkwinder. Whenever a token enters the battlefield under my control, tap target non-land permanent an opponent controls. It doesn't untap during its opponent's or during its controller's next untap step. So that, with all of these tokens being made, can just tap down someone's battlefield forever if they have no response to it. And that is always something that I keep in mind, is that these combos that I do, they can always be interrupted. They can always be stopped or whatever if my opponent has the right answer. Here is Ravenous Squirrel. I knew I didn't take him out. Whenever I sacrifice an artifact creature, I can put a 1/1 counter on him. He is also one of the things that I can use to sacrifice an artifact creature, gain a life, draw a card, but that can be the original non-token version of Specimen Collector to just kind of get this combo going. I have kind of amazed a number of my friends in a way where they don't remember that I can just sacrifice things so easily. They're just like, no, he has to have some ability to sacrifice. Well, that's my commander, that's this squirrel, that's this oof, that's, yes, I taught my friends the power of sack outlets. They sure could have looked it up, but man, mine was the in-person example. And sometimes you just don't forget that. All right. Thank you guys for staying. Man, 55 minutes almost. You guys have a great rest of your day. Yeah. See you next time.